what about Chelsea? Last night in Germany, in Dortmund, for the round of 16 Champions League first leg tie. It is a game they lost by a single goal to nil. But that's just part of the story, because a lot of Chelsea fans have their own views about where the club is and where the club is going under Graham Potter. As far as Potter is concerned, he feels that luck is the only missing ingredient right now.
Overall, we were pleased with the performance for big parts of the game. Complicated away from home in the Champions League, in a hostile environment against a team that's in a good moment. Absolutely. So I thought it was an even first half. We managed the game quite well. Had some good opportunities to counter attack, hit the bar, and then second half, apart from the one decisive action where we didn't do well enough, I thought we were the dominant, better team. Created some good chances, and we need a little bit of, a little bit of luck maybe, and a little bit of final execution. And I think we deserve the goal, but it is what it is. We have to keep going. It's half time. It's a tight game. We look forward to Stamford Bridge.
I'm sure he does, Graham Potter, his usual pragmatic self. No harm in that. Here's the thing though, Simon, 1-0 down, and yeah, the tie's far from over. But despite that result, are Potter's side turning a corner? Is there now evidence that, yeah, the performances are all right? If it's luck that you're just missing, luck will come your way sooner than later.
Maybe. In every walk of life, luck is a key ingredient in what you do. And sometimes luck evades you, and that's a byproduct of everything else going wrong around you. So when luck goes as well, you're really up the canal without a paddle at times. But I do think Chelsea are better. I do think Chelsea are getting better. I do think they're recovering some of their poise that we saw perhaps at the beginning of his tenure, that's slightly evaporated right now. They've got a lot of good players. A result away to Dortmund in the Champions League of a 1-0 defeat in most incarnations, rather than the one that's spinning around Graham Potter, that's all right. 1-0 in the first leg away. We'll go back to Stamford Bridge and we'll do the job there. Dortmund are third in the Bundesliga. They're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. So I don't think it's a bad result at all. I think that ultimately Chelsea are not a bad side. I thought they were okay against Fulham at times. They looked like a group of individuals starting to knit together in the same way. At different level, of course, Nottingham Forest have started to knit together. I'm not comparing Forest to Chelsea. I'm just saying that with a lot of players coming in, irrespective of the level, you've got to build a side together and a communication chain. Yeah, they're buying good players. The interesting thing for me is, I listened to what Mario Melcho said.
Oh, Mario, yes. Yeah.
I mean, it would seem obvious to everybody that the key component missing from Chelsea is a centre forward, but there are a lot of clubs that are struggling with that particular conundrum.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Melchior, because he's pointing the finger really at Todd Boehly and the ownership with his sidekick Egbali. Okay, a £600 million investment in players, but one glaring omission. How about a striker? Now, Melchior sat close to Boehly in Dortmund last night. This is Mario.
We had a conversation as well with some of the people that work for the club. They are, in charge of getting players in. And one of the biggest questions came up, because we were with a group of us, we were talking. When we were sitting in the box, they spoke to us. And we said, guys, they said, yeah, we already know. They know that they need a striker. The club knows that they need a striker. So I don't know how long they're going to wait before they're really going to make some action.
Well, name one then.
Well, I'll name two. Right, Aubameyang wasn't registered to play in Europe.
They don't want him. Clearly they don't want him. They don't want him. Graham Potter doesn't want him. Work out why. Work out why you wouldn't want Aubameyang. Because it's all well and good saying, the club. Yeah, I'm sure they do know. I'm not defending Todd Boehly, right? But the bottom line is everyone can see it. Even an obtuse, out of circulation American that's not been in our game, that's too busy suggesting that we play all-star games, can see that they need a centre forward. It doesn't need anyone particularly bright to tell them that. So why haven't they got it?
Well, why not get Lukaku back from his loan deal?
Again, ask the question, why? Why wouldn't they get Lukaku back? He's a ready-made replacement. He's already on their books. Why? Perhaps because Lukaku's trouble and doesn't want to be there, and maybe they've had to be forced into a situation with Lukaku, because obviously what flies out to me is Lukaku's got to be gotten off the books. And for some reason or other, they aren't able to get him off their books. Because it's logic. He doesn't want to be there. They don't want him there. Why wouldn't they sell him? Now, that might be something to do with the value on their balance sheet. It might be something else to do with it. But they can't just get rid of Lukaku for some reason. Because you'd think they're flicker switch Lukaku gone. Aubameyang in a building. Why isn't he playing? Aubameyang is a ready-made replacement. Well, go look at his performance. Go look at how he's gotten jettisoned out of Barcelona. Go look at how he got booted out of Arsenal and wonder why Aubameyang's not in the mix. So then ask the question, when you're sitting there going, we're all discussing amongst the guys and, relaying what we said to Todd Boehly to the media. What was your solution then? What did you tell Todd Boehly? Here's the centre forward you should be getting. I bet that one ran dry. I bet that particular conversation ended up with no one actually saying anything, because I don't know who Chelsea would buy as a centre forward. Do you?
Oh, come on.
Well, tell me.
Simon.
Who?
Well, with a bit of research done by the individuals who are good at doing that very job, they would have pinpointed this.
Okay.
If they're going to throw
So why
600
didn't they?
million plus around,
so then
why didn't?
so
So
let's-
I was just about to ask you that. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they concentrate
Because
on
logic
that?
would prevail that perhaps that wasn't something that they could achieve. If they're going to throw £600 million around like confetti, you'd think there's going to be some marquee signings coming out of that. Somebody, and a centre forward is a marquee signing by anybody's
For sure.
standards. So why didn't they do it? I know, because they're dumb, stupid Americans that haven't got a clue. It can't be that, can it?
Of course it's not that.
So why then? Because it's all well and good saying what they haven't done, but isn't it better to... And I'm also in the business of saying...
And you know they're not that. You met with
But
me in Qatar.
I'm also in the business of saying that ultimately we can all give reasons, but outcome is what you have to deliver in the end game. But if there's a really compelling set of reasons why these silly Americans that are just only interested in spending as much money as they possibly can wouldn't buy the key component that the entire world can see they need.
You're having a pop more at Mario than the Americans here.
I'm having a pop at the narrative that this is something they've missed.
Well, I mean, is it not relevant to tug Todd Boehly's sleeve as he leaves Dortmund last night to say, do you know your club's just scored 4 goals in 9 games in 2023? You know what you're missing? Yeah, I know what we're missing. Well, why didn't you do it?
Okay, well,
why didn't you buy one?
Well, let's ask you a question. Why is it that Man City scored just as many goals, if not more goals, when they didn't have a centre forward as they do with a centre forward? Maybe the players on the pitch can do just a little bit more. Maybe they think that when Sterling's fit, he can operate in that particular role. I don't know.
But they're scoring goals. They got 3 last night at the Emirates.
Granted, they got a centre forward, but in previous incarnations, it's about the players on the pitch that step up for a centre forward role. There wasn't a centre forward. There was an inverted centre forward at Manchester City. They played in a centre. Everyone goes, "We've got to get a centre forward." Now people are saying, "Oh, that centre forward maybe is hampering the way Man City play." Whatever you haven't got is the reasons why you're unsuccessful in this strange little world. But the point is maybe some of those players should be doing a little bit more. Maybe you should expect more from Kai Havertz. Maybe you should expect more from some of these players on the pitch that are capable of scoring goals. And clearly they're not. And it shouldn't just all be, at the end of the day, the average centre-forward in the Premier League that's an elite centre-forward will get 25 goals. Where are the other 50 goals coming from that most teams that are successful in the league score? Well, they're coming from nowhere in Chelsea's team.
So without a striker, without this pivotal type, Lukaku type figure, Aubameyang type figure, do you think they'll see off Dortmund?
I'd be surprised if they didn't, because I think the Chelsea crowd will play a big influence in the part. And then, of course, you're in a real position if they get knocked out by Dortmund, where you're going to have an unassailable drum beat behind, not unassailable, but an increasing in volume drum beat. But again, I go to the point, I'm not trying to be over facetious.
They've got Havertz up there on his own.
But why would Boehly and his gang, that are busier than busy people from busy land, not have bought a centre forward? Because clearly there's a reason why. There must be a reason why.
Too busy buying everybody else.
Well, yeah, but why buy left wingers? Why buy this if the thing you need is centre forward?
Yeah. Busy man from busy land. I like that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.